Good morning and welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends back home at the Get Go Cafe and Market, where they have way better stuff than the convenience places that are down here in Florida, don't they?
The only thing Get Go doesn't have is the palm trees.
They don't have palm trees.
Can we talk to somebody about that?
We can talk to them, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull that off. They seem to be a little bit seasonal back home. Part of what's fun in spring training is projecting. Mm-hmm. And part of what's easy about projecting is whenever people do extremely well, they're extremely pronounced in either direction. And the Pirates obviously had a couple excellent rookies in Brian Reynolds and Kevin Newman. A lot of people, I think, watching those from the outside, if you will, are going to just say instinctively that Reynolds had the better year because they talked about him all year long. But then Newman ended up scaling up. Who had the more projectable rookie year out of the two?
It's weird because I think first half Kevin Newman, he was kind of relying on infield hits to help the batting average in the OBP.
He ran him out. Yeah.
And then the second half of the season, you look at him and he was driving the ball a whole lot more, and that's encouraging. Where Reynolds, up until September was probably the better hitter, but that was a kind of ugly September. He might have just been tired. I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question, rookie playing 162 for
he
the first
denied
time.
it, but
of course he's going to deny it, but
but then the year before, Newman denied. Remember
yes.
when he came up in September and is like, the fact is, until players play 162 games or 162 game season, they don't have a barometer for how they're going to last through it. They do wear down. They lose body weight, significant body weight for some players, 10 to 15 pounds. And they're not as strong, so they're not driving the ball. They're not waking up as energetic and everything as they might have been back in July or even August. I just look at Reynolds' season and everything that he achieved, the adjustments that other teams made to him or tried to make to him that he made back, and his calm and everything else. And I give the nod to Reynolds.
I think I do too. But I don't want that to be a knock on Newman, obviously, because
No.
I think Newman probably made the better adjustments in the second half of last season than Reynolds. Because while the league was adjusting the Reynolds, I think he was able to just stay in his.
I was going to say he didn't adjust much. He
was
said,
Brian Reynolds.
I don't care what you throw me. I'm just going to hit it.
He was Brian Reynolds all year long, which is great, and that's probably, you feel more optimistic about that guy going into 2020. But I think what Newman did needs to be recognized and appreciated, because he went from someone in the first half of the year look at him, it's like, well, how much of this is earned? How much of it is just lucky, high BABIP? Second half of the year, he looked like a legitimate starter.
So he drops an acronym on you there. It's BABIP. That's batting average on balls in play. And what that means is the ball goes into play. Does it find a place to land or not?
Yeah.
It can basically be a luck factor. And both players at one point had really high BABIP figures. Clint Hurdle, the manager at the time, really railed against that. I mean, he hates the stat. He hates that one in particular. He doesn't see any validity to it because he doesn't believe in luck in baseball. However, if you're supposed to be well above 300. 300 is basically the standard for the BABIP for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a weird
that doesn't mean
stat
everyone's going to go back to 300. Look at Reynolds, what he did last year. He was driving the ball
over the field with power, with authority, against all different kinds of pitches. And that's what eventually I think we got to see that in Kevin Newman. Since we're talking about both of them, do we see a possible position change for either of them?
I don't think this year for Newman, because Adam Frazier's at second base.
Unless Frazier gets traded.
He's not going to get traded.
Just saying. I don't believe he is either, but
maybe July. We'll talk about it then. And Cole Tucker goes to shortstop and Newman to second, which I think Newman probably profiles better as a second baseman.
He does.
Yeah. But short term, I think Reynolds has to be the center fielder at least.
Well, they don't have one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's between
but can he play? But can he play it? Is that the question?
I think so. I think he's got the range for it. I think last year he was doing better at running more direct routes as the season progressed. The only part of his outfield game that at least I could look at was it took him a little longer to recognize fly balls, but he was playing left field, he was playing center field, he was playing right field. That is tough.
Yeah, he was
that
moved.
is tough to do.
He was moved around a lot, and I'm not crazy about Reynolds in center field, but I know that he is.
Yeah.
He would not mind playing. Try to keep an eye on the camera to see